Welcome to DCAC Going Green News, or GGN, Episode 3.
Hi, I am Doug.
And I am Alex.
Please subscribe below and click on the like button if you find this one interesting.
This show is being uploaded on February 2nd, 2020.
This week we want to start the news with our feature story on the Ocean CleanUp, a nonprofit dedicated not only to cleaning our oceans of plastic, but they have also developed a solar-powered river barge to clean up the source of most of the plastic, the rivers. It was founded in 2013 by then 18-year-old Dutch inventor Boyron Slot in his hometown of Delft, the Netherlands.
The team now consists of 80 engineers, research scientists, and computation modelers working daily to rid the oceans of plastic waste.
With millions of tons of plastic entering the ocean system each year, currently estimated to be 5 trillion, that's with a T, trillion.
That's a lot of plastic.
That's a lot of plastic. In our oceans, the group is developing technologies to rid the oceans and rivers of this waste. The waste is impacting more than 600 maritime species and carries toxic pollutants into the food chain, which, as humans, we are at the top of.
That's sad.
Yes.
The waste costs all of us over $6 billion.
With a B, billion.
Billion US dollars a year by impacts on tourism, fisheries, and the huge cost to clean up. For those of you that don't know that there is a giant plastic, basically plate island thing sitting in the middle of the ocean called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, well, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's crazy. As of May 2019, it covers approximately a surface area of 1.6 million square kilometers. That's twice the size of Texas and more than 3 times the size of France, and is located between Hawaii and California.
That's one big piece of plastic.
It's a big thing out there in the middle of the ocean. The ocean currents in the Pacific have caused all the trash to circulate to this area of relative calm. There are 4 other patches in the other oceans, but the one in the Pacific is by far the largest.
The group has designed a system of passive floating rings that will catch the plastic. They do not use a power system as it would be too costly and have other impacts on the environment from carbon emissions to bycatch. The waste will be brought back to land and converted to usable products such as plastic wood. The profits from this will go back to the cleanup. They hope to be able to clean up 50% of the waste in the next 5 years. That's 10% every year.
Well, that's a pretty good start.
Yeah.
The system takes advantage of the ocean currents. They are using a set of floaters that will sit on top of the water with a skirt underneath them that catches the waste. A parachute anchor is used to slow the floats down so that the current pushes the faster moving waste to the skirt that will catch it. Then they will meet up with the floaters and extract the waste with their ship and haul it back to land. The floats are tracked by satellite, and all of the systems are solar powered.
Since no ships pass through the patch, the systems can roam freely throughout the area. During the test of the first system, no marine life or protected species were impacted. In fact, they constantly monitor their systems, so that doesn't happen.
That's great. This year they've also developed their Interceptor, a 100% solar power autonomously operating barge. Rivers account for 80% of the waste, and most of it from 1,000 of the world's largest rivers. The group, working with local governments, hopes to take this waste stream by 2025. The Interceptor is a scalable system that helps stem the flow of plastic and other waste into the ocean. It consists of 2 floating guys that channel the waste towards the catamaran-style barge that uses a conveyor belt to bring the waste on board. They can now extract 50,000 kilograms of plastic per day, and they hope to be able to double that in the near future.
That is a lot of extracted plastic.
That's a lot of extracted plastic.
Wow. These barge catamaran ship thingies are 24 meters long and 8 meters wide. They can actually operate 24 hours a day and even operate as they are being unloaded.
That's pretty good. They can just keep operating the whole time so they can get a lot of waste out.
The first one is currently operating in Jakarta, Indonesia, on the Klang River.
The Ocean Cleanup hopes to reduce overall floating plastic by 90% by 2040. If you would like to get involved and support this great and very important nonprofit, please click on the link below and become a partner in cleaning up our planet.
And now time for EV News.
Our favorite part of the week.
In EV News this week, Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk, stated on Friday that demand for Cybertrucks is above what Tesla can do in 4 years. Now,
you predicted that.
Yeah,
he predicted that.
Yeah, I predicted that because that thing, it'd be awesome.
Well, we were hoping to get one, but it's probably going to be 5 years now before we can get one. But that's okay. Whenever it comes out, we'll be in line to get one. Yeah. Okay, so this week when asked about how many Teslas they can produce, Elon said, "We don't comment on those detailed numbers, except the demand is far more than we can reasonably make in the space of, 3 or 4 years or something like that."
There have been be prepared. Are you prepared?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No. Maybe. How many?
You're sure you're prepared?
How many reservations have there been?
You're going to be shocked about this.
Okay.
250.
250?
No.
250,000.
Yeah.
250,000 reservations have already been made. No wonder they're
not
able to keep up with it.
That was the Cybertruck was announced 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's going to be cruise. They're going to be all over the place. Anyway, Elon went on to say, "The thing we're getting ready to focus on is increasing battery production capacity because that's very fundamental. If you don't improve battery production capacity, then you end up just shifting unit volume from one product to another, and you haven't actually produced any more electric vehicles. That's part of the reason why we're not, for example, really accelerated the production of the Tesla Semi. It does use a lot of cells, and unless we get a lot of battery cells available, accelerating production of the Tesla Semi would necessarily mean making less Model 3s and Model Y cars. We've got to really make sure we get a very steep ramp in battery production and continue to improve the cost per kilowatt hour of the batteries. This is very fundamental and extremely difficult. I've never seen actually such a level of demand as this. We've never seen anything like it, basically. I think we will make about as many as we can sell for many years. So we'll sell as many as we can make. It's going to be pretty nuts. What we have in front of us in the next couple of years, well, we've got Model Y, we've got Giga Berlin, we've got Tesla Semi, we've got solar glass roofs, we have Cybertruck, and some very exciting improvements in battery technology. We'll have full self-driving, we've got the next generation Roadster, and probably a bunch of other products we'll come up with too," said Elon.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're going to be doing a lot of stuff.
And so we're just going to be looking forward to what Elon and the Tesla crew has come for us. So yeah, and every time they do something new, you, our viewers and subscribers, hopefully, will learn about it every week.
That's great.
Now, time for SpaceX news.
Oh yes, the second favorite part of the show.
Yes. In SpaceX news, there was another... Can you guess?
Yep.
What?
What? Falcon 9 launch.
With what?
60 more Starlink satellites.
Yep. And how many does that equal?
240 so far. And what else do they do?
They successfully landed the booster again.
Great.
And they also caught one of the variants.
And guess what? The other one fell in the ocean, but they recovered that one too.
But it was corroded.
Yeah, a little bit, but they'll get parts off it.
Yeah, so.
Great work, SpaceX. All right, so in environmental news this week, we just found out that Minnesota just allocated nearly $1 million in incentives for people to transform lawns into bee-friendly wildflowers, clover, and native grasses. The state is asking citizens to stop using herbicides, stop mowing so often, and let their lawns rewild into a more natural state.
The goal is to provide food sources for pollinators of all kinds, but will specifically aim at saving the rusty-patched bumblebee, a fat and fuzzy species on the brink of extinction that seems to be making its final stand in the cities of Upper Midwest, the Star Tribune reports. Research has shown that bumblebees are particularly important to the region. Can you guess why?
Well, I think that they said that because their wings vibrate at a certain frequency that unlocks pollen that other insects just can't reach.
That's correct. So,
That's great.
I mean, how do you think they got it?
Well, I don't know. They probably had stop motion cameras and they took pictures of them and microphones and...
I have a better theory.
What'd you do? What do you think?
So, they were like out there with the news and they took a microphone and they were like, "Hey there, bumblebees. So could you just make some buzzy noises and start pollinating stuff so we can listen to you?" And they were like, "Hey there, other bug thing. Can you start making noises and pollinate flowers?" And other bug thing. Psst. Bumblebee. Bzz.
Yeah, the lower waves will probably
Wait.
bounce more off.
Flower pollen when bumblebee goes by. Whee!
Yeah, that's great. Well, the loss of native prairies and forests across the country have made pollinators more dependent on urban and suburban lawn flowers, says James Wolfen, a bee habitat researcher in Minnesota at the University of Minnesota. His research has been focused on bee lawns, grassy yards interspersed with small flowers such as Dutch white clover, creepy thyme, self-hill, ground plum, and the favorite dandelions. The flowers make excellent food source for bees while being cheap to plant and easy to maintain. A pound of Dutch white clover is about $7, and it grows low enough that people won't even have to change the way they mow their lawns, Wolfen told the Star Tribune.
Around 55 of Minnesota's 350 bee species depend on white clover alone, he notes.
So just by not treating white clover like a weed and letting it grow in a yard provides a really powerful source of nearly 20% of the food that the bee species need in the state, Wolfen said. The program is set to begin in spring of 2020. Citizens living in rusty patch bumblebee zones will be eligible for grants of up to $500, while people living in zones of secondary habitat and those living in less important areas to bees are eligible for $350 and $150 respectively.
So they're basically giving you money to save the bees.
That's true. And since it's only $10 for a bag of clover seeds and it grows like a weed, that should be pretty easy.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's your decision. So you can either have a lush, green, beautiful, slightly overgrown garden with amazing, mystical-looking flowers that are in pretty colors and beautiful little cute bumblebees buzzing around that they won't sting.
And they're fat.
Yeah,
And they're fuzzy.
They're like little flying dogs.
Yep, kind of.
Puppies. Just imagine that. Or you could have a basically fake-looking, short, grass that tall garden.
No, there's no reason for that.
Yeah. I mean, I choose number one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just, I mean, your choice. Don't let us decide for you what you
But we know what you're going to
have
want.
to do. Well, we don't know what they're going to want, but
We might.
we know what we want, and we want the best for the bees.
Okay, so please let your local governmental agencies know how important the bees and other pollinators are. And let's all find a way to make them happy and healthy so they can help the foods we love continue to grow. Without them, there's not going to be much food to eat. Well, that's our show for this week. Please subscribe below and hit the like button.
And make sure to not forget to click that notifications bell so you don't miss one of our awesome videos.
This is a big help to us, and please share this and all of our videos with your friends and family. And check our Facebook and other social media sites. The links are listed below. Help us build a community of sustainable living families. So we'll see you Wednesday when we'll have info on how to power your home with the wind.
Sounds nice.
And as usual, be kind to each other and this small blue ball we call home. Peace.